of axis. First, we have to know what is a plane, axis plane. Axis plane is defined as either by x-axis when we are in one plane, or can be with two dimension. The two dimension can be x, y axis. Now, let's, for example, for the one dimension, we just have like a distance. Let's say with a reference 0, mean that our origin O. If we have a point here, this point is located at x equal 2 meter, for example, mean that we have only one dimension x, so we have only a plane of one dimension. But if we have a plane with two dimension, we'll have the x axis and the y axis. For example, if I have like this one, here I will have the x axis in this side, and I have the y axis in this side, and the origin 0. Now, if I have any point around here, I can locate it this point with these two axes. Let's say I have a point P here. This point P can be located with a value x. Let's say, for example, 2 here, mean that 2 here, mean that from 0 to here is going to be 2, and a value of y here, let's say, for example, 3 here, mean that the coordinate of the point P is going to be 2 and 3. So in this plane xy, the coordinate P is located at 2, mean that the value of x is going to be equal to, and the value of y is going to be equal to 3 if we have two axes. Now we are going to see if we have two planes. Let's say, for example, I have the origin x, I have y. Now if I have another plane, let's say, for example, here and here I have capital X, and here I have capital Y, in that I can have a single point. This single point, let's say, for example, a single point P here, it has its own coordinate from the black plane. For example, I have P, it has its own coordinate from the first plane, which is xy. The value of x and value of y can be to any. The same point P, it has its own coordinate in the right, in the red plane. Let's say, for example, capital X and capital Y. So now I can have one single point, which has a coordinate in the first plane and another coordinate in the second plane. Let's say, for example, if I have a 2 xy plane with two dimension and a point let's say I have this plane is going to be x, y, and I have another plane. Let's say I have this plane here. So if I have here is going to be capital X, capital Y. Now if I have a point P here, this point P, which will have a coordinate in the old plane. Let's say, for example, this one 5, and here I will have 3. Where the point P, it has a coordinate P 3, 5 in the plane or original plane, or the old plane, or the black plane. And now if we have the same point can have its own coordinates P capital X. Let's take, for example, here I have 3, and I have here 1. 1 here. So the same point, if I'm in the plane capital X at capital Y, the coordinate is this one, 3, 1. But if I'm the plane small x and small y, the coordinate is going to be this one. Now we are going to see how can I change the axis, this axis of this plane to the new plane that I have, the relationship between them. Now we'll see transformation of axis. Transformation of axis. When we talk about transformation of axis, now if I have any point here, let's say for example point A, which has coordinate x, y, this point P, I can find its corresponding coordinate in the new plane, capital X and capital Y. That we call the transformation of the axis of the axis. Now, there is 3 types of transformation of axis. I have translation, I have rotation, and 3 can be translation plus rotation. First of all, we'll discuss about the translation. Now, let's see about the translation. When we talk about translation, mean that I am in odd plane, I'm going to new one. So any point that was in the old point, I can find its coordinate to the new one. But when we talk about translation, the origin of the plane will change. The origin will change, but direction will not change. The direction will not change, only the origin. Let's see. Let's say for example I have this plane with coordinate x, small x and y. Now I have a new coordinate plane with capital X and a capital Y. Now I have the origin of this one is O, mean that the coordinate of this O is 0, 0. But the fact is that the origin, let's say for example this O of the new plane is not 0, 0, is 0, 0 with respect of this plane, but it's not 0, 0 with respect of the old plane. This origin of the new plane, I can determine its coordinate. The coordinate of its, let's say for example, I have alpha as the x-axis, and I have beta as the value of y. Mean that the new origin O of the new plate, I have O with alpha and beta. This one is the coordinate of the new origin of the in the old plane. Now, if I have any point P, this point it has its own coordinate x, y in the old plane. Let's say for example here, and here. Same thing, this point P has its own coordinate in the new capital X and capital Y in the new plane. Now I am going to find the relationship between how to determine the coordinate of this one and the coordinate of this one. If I see the value of the coordinate of point P, it is x from here, from here to here. That's the coordinate of the point P in the old plane, and this value equal the value from 0 to alpha from here plus the value of here, which is x, and here it is alpha. Now I will have P will have coordinate x equal alpha plus capital X, because small x is the coordinate of point P in the old plane from here to here, from 0 to this point, which is equal the alpha. The alpha is the axis of the origin of the new plane with respect in the old plane with the value of x. The value of x is this one from here to here, and the value of alpha is the origin, the coordinate of the origin. Now the y is from here 0 to here, which is equal beta is capital Y. Now I will have y equal beta plus capital Y. If I need, I have a point P, I have the coordinate of the origin plane, and I have the coordinate of the point in the new plane. I can determine the coordinate of the point in the old plane. Let's see, for example, I have origin of new plane or 1, 2. So in the point in the new plane, the point P has coordinate 4, 3. Let's say, for example, I want to determine the coordinate of P in the old plane. So let's say, for example, I have this one, the old plane, and I have point O. Point O, this is here, the origin of the new plane. It has a coordinate 1 in the old plane and 2. So that is O. It has the plane capital X and capital Y. Now, if I see the point P here is supposed to be in red color, means that this one, the coordinate of point P in the new plane. So point P has a value of 4 as in the X, and I have value of 3 in the Y. Now I need the coordinate of P in the old plane, the small x and the small y. So I will have small x equal the value of from 0 to x is going to be the value of alpha plus the value of capital X. So it's going to be the value of capital X plus alpha, which is equal capital X, the coordinate of P in the new plane is 4, plus alpha, the coordinate of the origin of the new plane, which is 1. 4 plus 1 is going to be equal 5. Now y is going to be equal y plus beta. Y, the code or the y of the new plane, which is 3, is going to be 3 plus the value beta. The beta, the origin of the new plane, is 2, going to be 5. Now this P in the old plane will have a value of 5 and the or y value of 5 again. Same thing, it can give you the coordinate of the old plane the coordinate of the old plane and the coordinate of the origin, and we told us to determine the value of the coordinate in the new plane. Mean that if I will need capital X, I just have small x minus alpha, and if I need capital Y, I just have small y minus beta. That is when we are doing in translation. You see, in translation the origin change because we are in the first origin with the first plane, but we change the plane to another plane. That's why the origin changed, but the direction is the same. Now we'll discuss about rotation. Now we're going to see about when we're going to transform the axis by rotation. In rotation, origin does not change, but direction will change. The direction will change. Let's see. For example, here I have this one. I have the coordinate new plane small x, capital small y. Now I'm going to change this plane by rotation. If I'm going to change this plane by rotation, the axis y is going to be rotated to get capital X, same value of theta, angle of rotation, the same y will be rotated again to a value of y. Now a new plane come y, xy with capital. Now if I have a point P which was here, this point P, it has its own coordinate in the old plane here, here, and it has its own coordinate in the new plane here and here. It has its new plane in the new, its own coordinate in the new plane, and it has its own coordinate in the old plane. Let's say, for example, here I have y, value of y, and here, this here from here, and the coordinate in the new plane, it has value of x. Now, if we want to determine the value, let's say here, I can have a projection from here to here, which is the same value. If I need the coordinate of here, from here, I have this total value, this value, minus this value, I'll get the value of x, small x. If I have the total value from 0 up to here, minus this value, I will get the small x here. Now, if we see, we will see that this one is perpendicular to this one. This one is perpendicular to this one. Or these two lines has angle theta, mean that these two lines also will have angle theta in the geometry. Why? Because this line, this theta is formed by these two lines, and this line is perpendicular to this line. Also, this line is perpendicular to this line, mean that this angle, the angle formed by these two angles also is the same as this one theta. Now, I will see that if I need this value of x, small x, I need the value of small x is going to be equal. the value of total, this total equal the x cos theta, because the rectangular, I will have capital X cos theta, capital X, because I need this small x. If I need the small x, I'll take all from here to here, which is equal x cos theta minus this value. This value is the same as this value. And to find this value, I will take this value. This value equal this one, y minus y sine theta, because the adjacent opposite of the angle. So I will have x equal x cos theta minus y sine theta. Now I have to find the value of y. The value of y from here to here, it is equal. Is equal this one. This one is equal from here, and this value here is going to have to be, this is my x. Now I will have x sine theta plus y cos theta. Y x sine theta, x sine theta, I will get this one plus y cos theta. Y cos theta is this one, which is the y, because my y is this one, and this y is the same as this one. Now if I have x sin theta, it will give me this value plus y, capital Y cos theta, it will give me this value. So if I add this portion plus this portion, I will get the value of the y. Now that is the formula that I will use to change my old plane to a new plane when the axis is rotated by an angle theta. Any value or any point that I have its own coordinate in the new plane, let's say in the new plane I have 4, 3, I can determine the value of the coordinate of this one in the old plane when I have the angle theta, the angle of rotation. Now we are going to see about translation and rotation. Now if we are going to see when we are going to change the axis by change of axis, but now we are going to have translation plus rotation. Translation plus rotation. First we'll do the translation to get the coordinates, let's say xy, and now we'll do another rotation again to get the coordinates xy prime. We use the same formula. Let's see, for example, I have this one, the old axis. I will have x and y. Now I will get, by using translation, I will get a new axis, capital X and capital Y, with the origins 0 with angle with the axis alpha and beta. We already know it. After that, I will do a rotation here with angle theta to get capital x prime, y prime, some angle theta here. That is, I did the translation first. After that, I come to do the rotation. Now I will need the relation between this x prime with this x and this one. Now I know if I have small x, I will have x plus alpha and y equal y plus beta. This one already the translation. Now if I come with this x, I come to for the rotation, I already know that x is going to be x prime cos theta minus y prime sin theta and capital Y. Capital Y is going to be x prime sin theta plus y prime cos theta. I'm going to replace this value of x and y in this equation. So now x equal alpha plus x prime cos theta minus y prime sin theta, and y equal beta plus x prime sin theta plus y prime cos theta. Now if I have a translation and rotation, I will directly have this relationship. Just so if I can have the value of alpha, I have the value of beta, which are the original in the new plane. I have the value of x prime and y prime. X prime and y prime are the coordinates of the point P after doing the translation and the rotation, and I can determine the value of x and y. Thank you for watching in this video. Next we'll discuss about when we have a equation, we are going to change from the axis from a plane to another plane by using those three techniques.